What's up YouTube, German Iron Snail here. Seriously guys, you have to stop calling me that. I don't want to come across as some sort of copycat, okay? If it's a compliment, I'll take it though. I do a series on YouTube where I look at awesome German-based companies that still produce here. And up until now I only talked about clothing brands and I gave accessories and shoes a wide berth so that I can do dedicated videos on those topics. And this will be the first one of them, starting with shoes.
Oh, you already knew that. Great job. You know so much.
Put some shoes on.
What, you don't like my bags?
Quick little disclaimer though, I'm not gonna make any jokes about Germany because we won't have it any longer, okay? So slide into your Birkies, crack a window on Kip, complain about something you can change, and let's get into it, shall we? Before we dive into the 5 specific brands of this video, Epic Rhyme, I want to talk about the GAT or GAT, and that does not stand for Grand Auto Theft, but for German Army Trainer or Bundeswehr Hallensportschuh in German.
So I wanted to test your knowledge on long German words.
Yes. They were produced over 500,000 times up until 1989. A lot of them got smuggled out of the Bundeswehr, just like other stuff like hats for example. You could just go to your designated Bundeswehr gear person and complain about your missing sneakers and you will just get brand new ones. That's so German. You can find these type of sneakers at your local Bundeswehr surplus store if you have one for like 35 bucks. But the prices kept climbing since Magella came up with these overpriced versions of the GAT sneaker. 490 buckaroonies.
So spending this much on a sneaker is definitely worth it, considering you get, I don't know, a simple sneaker with a cool brand name. I mean, if you can get for the price of one Magella sneaker, like 12 original Bundeswehr Hallensportschuhe, they gotta be 12 times as good, right?
Seems like Jura is not only needed to become a lawyer, but also pretty good if you want to learn more about fashion history. So check out my dear friend Jura over at Kentex Studio on YouTube if you want to learn more about heritage workwear and militaria and high-end fashion and all sorts of jazz. The overall design is heavily inspired by the Adidas Samba we all know and hate, except for me of course. I love them just like my dad did in the 70s, so my family went full circle in our love to the Adidas Samba. The original Sambas were made of kangaroo leather up until like 2012, so if you find a vintage pair, they're most likely made of some of the beefiest leather you can find. Speaking of kangaroo leather, let's get into the first brand of today's video. Nummer 1. Kangaroos. They actually were a pretty big name in my childhood and I just recently thought, what the actual f happened to kangaroos? They had this little pouch in their tongue where you could put your lunch money so that the local bully wouldn't find it. Except if he had kangaroos too, of course, because he could sneak all sorts of weapons in his tongues and cause he'd know where your money's at. When looking them up, to my pleasant surprise, they were still producing shoes. And glücklicherweise, some of them are still made at the self-proclaimed ruler of r/place, Deutschland. My 2 favorites are the 2024 Chinese New Year, Year of the Dragon retro runners, because they remind me of the colorful Tyler the Creator era that I miss so dearly, and these PreppyROOS, and they look like current day Tyler. I see a pattern there. My dad probably cringes right now because he hates penny loafers and spectator shoes and they are like a combination of both, but I love them. I love penny loafers and I love spectator shoes. And just look at these azure/white ones. Are they worth as much as 875 Red Wing Moctos?
Ooh, no.
Oh, but I want them nonetheless. Kangaroos always had a lot of collaborations going too. Last week I talked about the German salvage denim brand Rudloff Jeans Berlin, and even they had a collaboration with Kangaroos. So if you look for a unique sneaker that will elevate your style, look no further and get some Kangaroos. I'm not wearing my jacket. Now you recognize me, do ya? My name is Hannes, welcome. Number 2. What's that in German? 2. Richtig. Brütting Handmade. I found them just like many other brands while doom scrolling on the Manufaktum website. I can't talk about Manufaktum enough. It's the kind of store where you get into without the need of getting anything, but then you end up buying a $50 modern puzzle made of olive wood just because it felt good in your hand. Obviously you can't touch stuff on the internet. That's an invention of 2031, trust me bro. But just by looking at these Brütting Geländelaufschuhe or trail running shoes, I can tell you that they look very sturdy and heavy. Heavy in a good way. I know that they shouldn't be heavy when they are running shoes, but whatever. I plan on getting sneakers in this style for the gym and I'm not entirely sure what to pick. I really like these, the Real McCoy's military training canvas shoes. But the more I talk about my local German brands, the more I want to buy the stuff I talk about, if you catch my drift. And Brütting even makes a lot of hiking shoes that I would wear, because I'm not that much of a fan of traditional hiking shoes. These boots look more like something that Joel from The Last of Us would wear to kick a clicker's head in with. Brütting, chef's kiss. Honorable mention, Heinrich Dinkelacker, as I just recently found out after recording this segment. They produce in Tuscany, Spain and Budapest, which isn't Germany, so they are disqualified from the list.
Disqualified.
I have 2 pairs of Heinrich Dinkelacker broke wingtips featured in this video, and I love them so much you have no idea. Sometimes I wake up with them next to me in my bed and I'm not even mad at them. Both of them came with Johann Rendenbach leather outsoles, which are some of the best leather outsoles you could get. Go ask your cobbler, he knows them.
I've got the JR soles here.
And on the one pair you can still read the JR on them. And they just fit me so well. I've never had sneakers on my feet that were more comfortable than these leather shoes. All of your leather shoe friends are on the website. We've got a Luzern full broke wingtip boot. What kind of name is Luzern, man? We don't judge. London Kepto Oxfords and Wien penny loafers, just to name a few. And they've got a pretty neat winter sale going at the moment, so grab them while they're hot. You can get a pair of handmade leather boots for the price of Mason Margiela Gats. So what the f are you waiting for? Oh, you're broke too? Okay, welcome to the club. Just look at these shoes, man. I must save them from the dark, cold warehouse. I can't even look at them.
Don't look right! Keep your eyes shut!
Number 3. Oh, no, Nummer 3. I have to show it like this so I don't get killed in a bar shootout. Josef Seibel, one of my mom's favorite shoe brands, and I can kind of see why. Hello, mama. They are pretty affordable compared to the other brands, and the quality can be really good though. Obviously, they are no match for a Heinrich Dinkelacker shoe, but if you look at their pricing, the value is there, and they still make a lot of their shoes in-house in Germany, and they wouldn't be on this list if they weren't. The styling can be pretty hit or miss because some of them make you look like a 5th grade arts teacher, but if you take the more classy ones like classic leather boots or penny loafers or brokes, stuff like that, you can't do anything wrong. They once had these spectator type shoes in olive and dark green. I don't remember the exact same model name because it was like 6 years ago and the memories in my brain are like soup running through a tennis bracket. What did I even want to say? Josef Seibel is great. Oh, guck mal, ein Schmetterling. Nummer 4. Eduard Meyer. Ed Meyer was a Royal Bavarian Purveyor to the Court in 1895, which is an honorary award gifted to companies that are appreciated by members of the royal family. So you know that they must have been of the most pristine qualities imaginable. I only have this 1 pair of Ed Meyer shoes and I can't tell you enough how much I love them. They fit like a glove and they look very expensive. Because they are, but I've got mine on Vinted for 100 euros. And they are basically brand new. I have to replace the laces though because I underestimated my raw power when tying my shoes. If you want to know how to get expensive shoes and clothes for relatively cheap, go watch this video. Their style is very formal and classic, so don't expect to get sneakers by Ed Meyer. At the moment, these Ed Meyer shoes are my most formal shoes, right after these Van Bommel Oxford. Number 5. Meindl. Yeah, I know, I said that I don't like traditional hiking boots, but I can't ignore the leather ones that Meindl makes. They are called Trekkingstiefel Perfekt, which is just as much of a weird and bland name as the Mont Blanc Meisterstück, which means masterpiece in English. A co-worker of mine has some and he loves them, so that's all of the evidence I need to tell you that they are of exceptional quality. They are actually pretty commonly seen. In Germany there are just as many Meindl shoes as there are Red Wing boots in the USA. That's probably very wrong. Take that with a Salzkorn. Grain of salt. I would say in Germany they are mostly common amongst hipsters and man children. I'm joking, put down the pitchfork. If I had more money, I would go out and get some for myself for a trip to Scotland later this year. And I feel like I would fall in love with them just because they look like tank shoes. Because if there's one thing Germany can do, it's building tanks. At the time of recording this, which is Thursday, January 23rd, 2025, at exactly 9 PM, I'm sitting at 1,268 subscribers, which is a ton. And I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you, arigato, tomofuchita. I would like to hit 1,500 subscribers by next Saturday. I know, I know it sounds impossible, but we can do it. I know we can. I trust, I believe in you. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button like a stranger's booty on the subway, you sick bastard. I still have a lot of brands on my list, so just tell me if you're sick of this. See you next week. Love you.